Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Sprue. This is where you get your regular model updates. My name's Jim, and before we get into the updates, we're going to have the question for this week, and here it is. In what year did production of the Kübelwagen begin? Was it A, 1936, B, 1938, C, 1940, or D, 1942? Das Werk are releasing a 1 in 16 scale half-truck Sonderkraftfahrzeug in 251 or 22 designations. And with this kit, you can build the early or the late version. It has 3 optional sets of movable single track links. It's completely new developed, 7.5cm pack. It's clear parts, detailed running gear. The floor armour can be attached separately to the chassis, and it has a lot of detail on the gear shift and gearbox, and comes with 4 scheme options. If you've been sitting there thinking, I wonder who's going to produce a new British Bedford truck, then your wait is over, because Gecko Models are going to do it in 1 and 35th scale, and you can have 2 versions. You can have the early production model or the late production model. That's from Gecko Models, and coming soon. And Meng have announced a new Kübelwagen, and this is coming out in August, and you can have it in the African scheme, and you can, as you can see, you can have the headlights with the restrictors on, or full headlights and movable windscreen, and lots of detail. It looks rather good to me. That's in 1/35 scale, coming out in August, and that's by Meng. You may recall Gecko Models released a Universal Carrier Mark II recently in 1 16 scale. Well, they decided to release a Mark I version. Comes with 3 options for your headlights, workable track links, workable suspensions, as lifelike folded canvas parts, completed driving and fighting compartments, and looks to be a lovely kit. And Rodham Models are releasing a Horch V8 Type 830R in 1/35 scale. This was a development from the Zwilling car in 1934 and was simplified for the army use and strengthened. Most of the units were wiped out on the Eastern Front very quickly, and this car is considered the predecessor of the Kuppenwagen. A very interesting subject from a firm that does produce interesting models. And if you're looking for a new Panzer II and you're looking for it in a 1 in 16 scale, then Gecko Models are coming to your rescue once again with their second release in 1/16 scale, and lovely detailed model. And what would be Beyond the Sprue without an announcement from Miniart? This week they're producing a new L701 German cargo truck, and highly detailed, realistic, perfect for a 1/35 scale model collection, and the box includes PE parts, 5 decal options, and should keep you very busy. And Tamiya have announced a new tooling of a German tank, Panzerkampfwagen, in 1 and 35th scale, and that's as much info as I've got on it at the moment. If you have any more information on that, please could you let me know in the comments. And Takom have announced a new VK4502H kit in 1/35 scale. This is the draft blueprint of W1461. We know that sometimes these don't go down very well, but this one looks to me to be okay. Comes with metal barrels and some clear parts, decals obviously, jig to assemble the track, and it's a 3-in-1 kit, and it looks quite tidy, so it'll either work or it won't. So I know some people don't mind the blueprint tanks and others are dead against them. And TACOM have also announced a People's Liberation Army Navy 130mm naval gun, comes with one scheme option. This is in 1/35 scale. PE parts are included, and they have also announced a HHQ-10 surface-to-air missile launcher as well. That's in 1/35 scale, also comes with PE parts and one markings for one option. And 5-star models making a 1/700 scale French battleship, the Richelieu 1943 option, comes with upgrades, PE parts, wooden decks, metal bows, and some resin printed bits and pieces as well. Makes a lovely kit. And Trumpeter makes some fantastic ships. Have announced they're making an HMS Argonaut, and that's coming out in 1/350 scale. And DV model are making a 1/700 scale of the HMS Bristol Type 82 class guided missile destroyer. And 4Art are making a 1/350 scale model of the HMS Coventry Type 42 guided missile destroyer, and that's by a company called 4Art. And Hobby Boss are making a plan type 0948 Jin class SSBN submarine. That's in 1/700 scale. So moving on to figures, Mini Art are producing some US soldiers with their motorcycles, and they are coming in 1/35 scale. And ICM are making a special edition kit of a Armed Forces of Ukraine Leopard crew. That's in 1/35 scale. Comes with 5 figures, doing maintenance, and I believe even has the dog model. And if you're into figure painting, then oh my golly, you've definitely got to make a note of this one. Mitch's Military Models. This is work in progress, and this is expected to be released in November 2024. The detail is absolutely incredible. Keep your eyes open for it. It's bound to sell out. And Decno Models are doing a very limited run of the Fugechi, which was a modified Junkers A50, making only 20 units in a 1/72 scale and only 10 units in a 1/48 scale. And this is a polyurethane parts for the main parts, and the more detailed parts are in 3D printed resin. And this is available from decnomodels.com. Very limited numbers. If you want one, I suggest you get straight onto them because they are bound to sell out fast. And moving on, Silver Wings are producing a resin-based ferry flycatcher, and this time it's got floats, so it's their float plane, and they have been inundated with inquiries about making it with floats, so they decided to do that. If you're in the first 100 customers, you will get a 15% discount. The website's www.silverwings.pl. It's a resin-based model, and it's coming out in mid-August. And there are 3 variants of floats and 5 marking options in total. And Academy have announced some new kits, and first of these is the MiG-21 PF, the Fishbed D. That's out in 1/48 scale in markings of the Russian Air Force. The next kit is in 1 and 1/44 scale, is the Boeing 737 in the Colombian Air Force markings. And the last one in 1 and 1/44 scale is the KC-97L Strato Freighter USAF. That's in the markings of Cold War era, and that's coming out soon in 1 and 1/44 scale. Revell are producing a 1/72 scale Lockheed Martin F-35A Lightning II, and have released these CAD images, and looks to be interesting. It's a new tooling, and that's from Revell. And Airfix have announced that they're releasing soon variant on their Mark 9A with the Supermarine Spitfire Mark 8. And this has a few changes, including the gun camera position, the leading edge fuel tanks, the wing leading edge, revised instrument panel, upper wing surfaces, short span ailerons, lower wing surfaces, repositioned amber fuselage light, retractable tail wheel. And there are 3 different scheme options, including shark mouth. And the kit is due for release in August or September of this year, 2024. And it is a nice kit. I've actually seen it, and I was at React Air Show recently, and they had a mock-up version of the kit, and it is really nice. Has lots of detail and looks incredible. And Micromedia are releasing soon in 132 scale a Breda Pensuti B1. And that's going to have a resin-free cylinder air-cooled engine representation. And AMP are producing a 1 in 4/8 scale Sikorsky H-19, a Chickasaw helicopter, which is the American multi-purpose helicopter. It's coming in 4 different schemes. That's as much information as we have, because that's all the information they've released. Luke Graf, I've released some images to tempt us to buy the new Phoenix D1. That's in 132 scale, and this is basically what you're going to get in the box. Model making is evolving now, and we're getting a mix between polyurethane, traditional polyurethane scale models as we know them, and resin parts, and more manufacturers are introducing resin parts because it gives high detail. So we're going to have to change with the times, or stick to the older kits that don't have it if you don't like it. But basically things are definitely moving on, and we're going to see this more and more. This looks to be a beautiful model, 132 scale. Comes in 4 scheme options, and it's from Luke Graf, and pre-orders, I believe, are on their website right now. And Avantgarde Model Kits AMK are releasing a F-14D Super Tomcat in 1/4/8 scale, and that's going to be coming with 2 scheme options. And if that doesn't tempt you, maybe AMK's re-release of their MiG-31 Foxhound might well do. This is just a new box art image. It's the same kit. That's in 1/4/8 scale. And Copper State Models have released some images of their forthcoming Newpont 2 in 132 scale. They're through the 3D design phase, they say, and they're now starting the mold development process. And it comes with 4 different mounts, and it is historically accurate, and it has incredible detail and looks to be superb. Look forward to it. And then Wild have released the images of the new tooling of their new BF 109 G10 series, and this is in their Royal Class series. These kits come with resin parts and masks and PEs. You're going to be able to build 2 variants of kits that you haven't been able to build before, and if you want to build additional kits, you'll be able to buy their kits from the Overtrees range series. These are just the tooling images, and that's all we have for now. Dora Wings, I've released some images of their test build of the 1 in 48 scale DHC-2 Beaver, and these looks to be rather interesting. This is from Dora Wings. And Clearprop Models have released some assembled images of the DH-88 Comet, and that's going to be in 1/7/2 scale. And that pretty much brings us to the end of this week. So in a minute will be the answer to the question. But first, if you could drop me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll move on to this week's question with the answer. So in what year did production of the Kuppelwagen begin? If you said it was B 1938, you would have been correct. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.